Hello, this is Mr. Carrington, and today we're going to learn about the infinitive phrase. Please have out a piece of paper and a writing implement. You will want to take notes. You'll be prompted at various points in the screencast to write some things down, and I will be taking a look at what you've written down when next we meet as a class. Alright, the infinitive phrase is one of the 8 expansions we'll be using this year. It's a phrase. We've already talked about the difference between a phrase and a clause. See if you can write down on your page what the main difference is between a phrase and a clause. I'll give you a few seconds. I hope you remembered that a phrase has only a subject or a verb, not both, and that a clause has both a subject and a verb. Alright, let's take a look at the infinitive phrase. To begin, we'll look at the formula. The formula is to plus a verb plus info. So one of these would look like to complete the assignment in time. Notice how we have to plus the verb complete, then the info, the assignment in time. Another example would be to fit into his new shoes. To plus the verb fit plus the info into his new shoes. We could make a sentence out of these infinitive phrases. Let's take the first one. To complete the assignment in time, she worked for a little bit of time over multiple days. Or another sentence. Billy, to fit into his new shoes, wiggled his feet until they squeezed in. We can come up with an infinite number of infinitive phrases, things like to finish her homework, to defeat the villain, to understand the Constitution, to avoid listening to One Direction. You can just keep coming up with them. I challenge you during this video to come up with a new verb each time you write an infinitive phrase. Alright, let's take a look at a couple of practice sentences. One could read, Dora the Explorer to blankety blank blank hike through the valley with her backpack. Let's see if you can come up with an infinitive phrase that would fit in that blank. Please pause the video and write down your infinitive phrase on your piece of paper. Alright, you've restarted the video. Hopefully you've got an infinitive phrase in there. You might have written down something like, Dora the Explorer to find the treasure, hike through the valley with her backpack. Let's try another. To blankety blank blank, Diego climbed up the elm tree. I'd like you to pause the video again here, write down an infinitive phrase that could work in that blank, and then restart the video when you're ready. Please do not use the same verb that you used last time. Okay, you've restarted the video. You might have written down something like, to see beyond the bushes, Diego climbed up the elm tree. Let's move on. Some completions. Let's see how you do with these. Again, I'd like you to pause the video and take time to write down an infinitive phrase for each of these blanks. The first one should read blankety blank blank, Diego lowered his head toward the cool stream. And another, slowly, Dora trudged on, stopping to listen, blankety blank blank. Please put your infinitive phrases in those sections. Alrighty, and we're moving on. Now it's your turn. You are going to construct a solid sentence about the picture to the right. Your sentence must use an infinitive phrase that is underlined and labeled. It must have the subject underlined once and the verb underlined twice, and your sentence must have at least 15 words. Please pause the video now as you write a sentence with an infinitive phrase about the picture to the right. Okay, we're moving on. Again, you've got another sentence to write. Please construct a solid sentence about the picture. Your sentence must once again use an infinitive phrase that is underlined and labeled. Have the subject underlined once, verb twice, and have at least 15 words. Go ahead and pause the video now to get that done. Alright, and we're moving on. Here is your super challenge for the day. I will challenge you to construct a solid sentence about the picture just like you've been doing, but this time your sentence has to have 2 infinitive phrases in series. That means one infinitive phrase comes right after the other. You should again have the subject underlined once, verb twice, and your sentence has to have at least 15 words. Let me give you an example of what one of those sentences might sound like about the picture. To hang the bows and ribbons, to decorate for the party, Dora's mother and father worked all morning with a ladder. Notice how I had 2 infinitive phrases in a row in series, to hang the bows and ribbons, to decorate for the party. See if you can come up with one on your own. Go ahead and pause the video now. Alright, I hope that went well for you. That brings us to the end of our screencast. If you have any questions about the infinitive phrase, I invite you to ask them in the comment section below this YouTube video. Your classmates who will be logging on this evening as well will have a chance to answer them, and hopefully you'll get some of those questions answered before we meet in class. If you do still have lingering questions, or if there's something that everyone's confused about, I'd be happy to talk about them when next we meet. Alright, thanks so much, and have a lovely evening.